Fortnite will go down in history as the game with the most amount of collaborations and IP inside it. But today we're going to flip the script and take a look at 30 times that Fortnite itself was featured in other media. So let's start off with TV shows that featured Fortnite. At number 1, we have South Park. This happened back in 2018, and South Park featured Fortnite in season 22, episode 5, which was a Halloween episode. Most of the kids were dressed up as Fortnite skins from season 1 to 5. Kyle was Sledgehammer, Stan was Leviathan, Craig was dressed up as Mary Marauder, Cartman was Battlehawk, and there was even several more throughout the episode. It's crazy that this happened back in 2018, and now in 2025, we're actually about to get the first South Park x Fortnite collab in game. And apparently there's gonna be a mini battle pass involved as well. Number 2, we have Saturday Night Live. On the premiere of season 44 of SNL, there was a Fortnite themed skit starring Pete Davidson, Kyle Mooney, and Adam Driver. Adam Driver played a single dad trying to learn Fortnite for the first time, and there was actual in-game footage used for the skit in the introduction. After that, there were 3 actors who played Bright Bomber, Jonesy, and Arctic Assassin who were acting out the game as if they were being used to play. Throughout the skit, we see a default and Rift appear while the dad is emoting nonstop, and it was actually kind of funny and well done, even though it didn't really help the dad learn how to play Fortnite. Number 3, The Simpsons. I know we just had the Simpsons x Fortnite mini season along with a TV mini series which actually showed the progression of the season within the episodes, but even before that, Fortnite was actually featured in a few episodes. The first one was back in 2019. The episode Go Big or Go Homer in season 30, Homer introduces himself as a supervisor and tells his interns to stop playing Fortnite.
So stop Snapchatting, Fortniting, and swipe.
Then in season 33, Fortnite showed up again, where a scammer is on the phone and says he'll accept Fortnite V-Bucks as a payment for their taxes. Number 4 is The Flash. Another small mention of Fortnite was in season 7, episode 4 of The Flash. There's a scene where Cisco Ramon complains about Chester constantly beating him in Fortnite. He yells out, "If you're going to be a part of Team Flash, then you have to stop beating me at Fortnite."
You're gonna be a part of Team Flash, then you have to stop beating me at Fortnite!
Then he ends up throwing off his headset. Bro needs to just hit creative. At number 5, it's no surprise because Family Guy has been featured in Fortnite a lot. Peter was one of the main bosses in chapter 5, but Fortnite has also been referenced multiple times in the show itself. In season 21, it shows the whole family lost in the woods, and Chris gives up and refers to his happy place as being screamed at by children in Fortnite.
I'm gonna close my eyes and go to my happy place, being screamed at by children while playing Fortnite.
Then in the episode Start Me Up, Brian is trying to return a keyboard and Stewie's saying he's gonna watch the older boys play Fortnite since he's not old enough to play.
I'm going to watch the older boys play Fortnite because I'm not old enough to play Fortnite myself.
Joe also mentions Fortnite twice, the first being when he's telling Peter and Lewis that Meg died. When he tells him how she died, he mentioned that he leveled up on Fortnite over the weekend.
She got in a car wreck and was burned beyond recognition, and I leveled up on Fortnite this weekend.
The second time was in a Game of Thrones themed episode. Peter tells him he hasn't seen him in a fortnight, and Joe responds saying that he's been busy playing Overwatch instead.
Ah, Joe the Broken. Haven't seen you in a fortnight.
Yeah, I've been playing Overwatch lately. Where are you headed?
At 6, we have The Big Bang Theory, one of the earliest Fortnite appearances, and it was in season 12, episode 9 of The Big Bang Theory in January 2018. Part of the plot of the episode was the character Bernadette wanting to learn how to play Fortnite so that she could beat Howard in it. From different angles, you can see actual in-game footage, including some of the characters getting sniped while emoting. But for the most part, the characters are just playing on controllers and they're just talking about what they're doing in-game while you can hear the in-game sound effects. At number 7, we have Invincible. On November 5th, 2023, we got the Invincible collab in game. And season 2 of Invincible had actually started earlier in the month. And in the final episode of the season, I Thought You Were Stronger, you can see Invincible jump out of a green portal with a dragon's breath sniper. He then swings it and hits someone over the head with it, which isn't how we use snipers in Fortnite, but this was still a cool reference. At number 8, we have Smiling Friends. I've seen quite a few people actually requesting Smiling Friends to become a part of Fortnite, and it's probably not too crazy of a request. Because in episode 3 of Smiling Friends, we see a quick look that Shrimp has action figures that include Rox, Jonesy, Peely, and the Ice King. So I wouldn't be surprised if this collab happens sometime in the future. At number 9, we have Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken actually featured Fortnite multiple times in season 10. The first was in episode 2, where we see a parody between Fortnite and the Magic School Bus. We see a bunch of Fortnite characters get in the bus and they're confused that the normal bus driver is different. Their new driver is Miss Valerie Frizzle. She has no idea what she's doing and ends up pushing them out of the bus onto what's supposed to be the Fortnite map. The old bus driver ends up finding them and saving them from Miss Frizzles, and they all start to emo. Then there was a shorter segment in episode 5 where we see the Steve Urkel and Moisty Merman emoting while being sniped at, and in episode 16 it looks like Jonesy is looking for a new job as a home builder, but the couple who's purchasing the home isn't ready to be dropped on the Fortnite map and find themselves in the middle of a Fortnite battle. And the thing is, TV shows isn't the only place where Fortnite has been referenced, because there's also quite a few movies that have referenced Fortnite. At number 10, we have Free Guy. And if you haven't seen Free Guy, it's a movie about being stuck inside a video game as an NPC. The character that Ryan Reynolds actually plays became self-aware and tries to break free from the game. And while there's a scene where he's fighting Dude, who is a super muscular version of Guy, it looks like a fight out of Mortal Kombat, and Guy starts to pull out some items. He summons Captain America's shield, a blue lightsaber, but one of the items he pulls out was actually the Rainbow Smash pickaxe, which he uses to knock Dude over. And if you don't remember, Free Guy was actually in Fortnite with the Dude character having a skin in game. At number 11, we have Spider-Man No Way Home. This one is extremely easy to miss, but in Spider-Man No Way Home, you can see Spider-Man and MJ swinging through the city to escape from the public. And there's a split second where you see a billboard advertising Fortnite. If you blink, you'll miss it, but it's definitely there. At 12, we have Sonic the Hedgehog, and this was actually a deleted scene, so it never actually made it to the final movie. But during the scene, you see Dr. Evo Robotnik sponsoring an energy drink in his live stream. And during his sponsored segment, he tells his viewers that if they take one sip of it, they'll pile up so many kills playing Fortnite.
One sip of Berserk, and you'll pile up so many kills playing Fortnite.
There were also visual effects for leveling up that we saw in chapter 2 that appeared on the screen. At 13, we have Avengers Endgame. This one is a classic, and I remember seeing this in theaters. It's one of the most iconic Fortnite movie references ever. In Avengers Endgame, you see Korg playing Fortnite running around Salty Springs as Bright Bomber. He's arguing with a kid named Noob Master, and then Thor gets on the mic and threatens him, which somehow makes the scene even better. Fortnite hasn't just shown up in movies and TV shows, because it's also been referenced directly in music. At number 14, we have Doja Cat, Agora Hills. We all know Doja Cat is a huge Fortnite fan. She has streamed the game, crashed out on Twitter over updates, and she even has her own skin and emotes in the game. But what some people might not know is she actually referenced the game in her album Scarlet on the song Agora Hills. The lyrics say, "Like Fortnite, I'ma need your skin." But she's not the only artist who has included Fortnite in their music. Eminem did in Tone Deaf, because he became known as the guy from Fortnite after his Chapter 2 remix collab skin came to the game. But he also included Fortnite in his lyrics. In his song Tone Deaf from 2020, eating pork rinds, sword fighting in pajamas, at the crib playing Fortnite with your grandma. We've never seen Eminem actually playing Fortnite, but if these lyrics are true, I could see it happening. At 16, we have Taylor Swift on her song Fortnite, which is actually spelled differently. It's not spelled like the name of the game. But before the Tortured Poets Department album dropped, Taylor Swift announced the first single titled Fortnite. The timing of her album dropping aligned with a new Fortnite festival season, so a lot of fans thought they were going to add Taylor Swift into the game and that her song was going to be somehow a part of the collab. None of that happened, and the song had nothing to do with Fortnite. But for now, it's probably the closest we'll ever see to a Taylor Swift x Fortnite collab. At 17, we have a Madison Beer concert. Fortnite has also shown up in live performances, because during Madison Beer's spinning tour in 2024, she actually used assets from the game as her background during the end of one of her songs. It had the whole Fortnite UI show while she used a camera to show the fans' faces in the crowd. She also played Fortnite with clicks and streamed the game multiple times, so the reference makes perfect sense. And at number 18, we have Ariana Grande and other artists' Fortnite merch. Some artists don't just appear in Fortnite, they also release official merch of their skins. The Weeknd, Metallica, Ariana Grande, they all sold t-shirts and hoodies directly on their websites. The Weeknd even had a full figurine of his skin that you could actually buy, and they weren't just fan-made items either. These were officially licensed. We've also seen Fortnite in a number of different toys and collectibles. At 19, we have Magic the Gathering. Secret Lair teamed up with Fortnite, and we have 7 Magic the Gathering cards, and the art on these is sick. We have the Cube, which is based off Kevin, Crack the Vault, referencing the Fortnite vaults, Shrinking Storm, Battle Bus, Supply Llama, Dance Battle, which actually featured Cuddle Team Leader, Fish Stick, Skull Trooper, and more, and even Battle Royale, which has text saying, "Don't know how I got here, but I'll be the last one standing." The set is extremely expensive now and kind of rare. I kind of wish I had it. At 20, we have Nerf. Fortnite x Nerf makes perfect sense, and it's a great collaboration. I've seen it in store at Target and Walmart. I even have a few of these myself. Most of the weapons, though, are based off of Chapter 1, with a couple of them from Chapter 2. They included Toy Blasters and Super Soakers, and Nerf doesn't use weapon classifications since the toys are typically produced for kids. But we have the BASRL, which is based off of the legendary Bolt Sniper, the AR, the Rocket Launcher, a Legendary Attack, and many more. There's actually over 30 different weapons you can get from this Nerf x Fortnite collab. At 21, we have Lego sets. This has been huge with the Lego collaboration in Fortnite. We now have official sets like the Combo set, Supply Llama, Battle Bus, Durburger, Peely, and Mecha Team Leader, and I'm sure there's going to be even more sets coming out throughout the years. At 22, we have a makeup line. So this is kind of surprising to hear that Fortnite actually collaborated with a makeup line and released a full collection of Fortnite-themed makeup products with Revolution. There were eyeshadow palettes, lip oils, body mist primers, and more. It featured different Fortnite characters like Peely, Cuddle Team Leader, and a Supply Llama. I personally have not used any of these products myself, but it's kind of cool that they're getting involved in everything. Fortnite has also found its way into many comics, and in some of these cases, these comics were actually canon. At 23, we have Guardians of the Galaxy. We have almost the entire cast of Guardians of the Galaxy in Fortnite, and even Baby Groot coming in as a sidekick soon. But back in 2020, Fortnite was actually featured in the Guardians of the Galaxy #7 comic. It was the Garen Fortnite variant, and you can see Sparkle Specialist, a llama, Groot and Rocket driving a Fortnite ATK on the cover. And in the actual comic, Groot and Rocket get bifrosted and return a few moments later, and they sit there and wonder how long they were on the Fortnite island for. At the time, Star-Lord was the only Guardians of the Galaxy character in the game. At 24, we have Marvel and DC Comics. Fortnite has been featured in a number of comics with their massive collaborations with Marvel and DC. There were 5 issues of the Fortnite x Marvel Zero War, 6 issues of Batman Fortnite Zero Point, and 1 Batman Fortnite Foundation. They involved characters from different universes getting pulled into the Fortnite map and uncovering the secrets of the island. And this was actually huge back then for people who were following the story and the lore, because they revealed and explained a lot of stuff about how the Fortnite world works. And normally Fortnite is adding other games and collaborations into Fortnite, but sometimes they've been featured in other games. Like at number 25, World of Warcraft NPC. There's actually an NPC in World of Warcraft that was based off of Renegade Raider with the name Renegade Looter, and her appearance was very similar as well. She appeared to be a boss with different abilities like cranking 90s, and when she was on the high ground, her damage taken was reduced by 99%. She could also throw disco bombs that would explode and cause anyone within 3 yards to dance uncontrollably, increasing their damage taken by 50%, and this is obviously based off of boogie bombs. And she even had a storm ability which inflicts 10 nature damage every 1 second to players not within the eye, the safe zone. But this one actually never made it into the live version of World of Warcraft, but the NPC did exist on the private testing server back in 2023. At 26, we have Mortal Kombat. This was actually an advertisement for Mortal Kombat 11. It happened all the way back in 2019, way before Mortal Kombat was a part of Fortnite. It poked fun at Fortnite by having a llama-looking character emoting on the Fortnite map, and then you see Scorpion kick them out of the frame. It was a quick joke, but a great one. At 27, we have The Matrix Awakens. There was a number of Fortnite references added in the tech demo version of The Matrix Awakens, and this was back in 2021. The demo was developed using Unreal Engine 5, so they added a few references to Fortnite. There's a chalkboard sign that advertises Joe's Chug Jug, and there's a loot llama as a statue sitting on a trash can. At 28, we have Henry Stickmin Collection. In this game, you have the ability to choose on what you want to do. One of them is called Dance Off, where you just start doing the default dance. It causes you to fail the mission, but is still a hilarious touch. There's also another route in the game when you fail where you see Henry and Ellie dropping from a helicopter with umbrellas that resemble Fortnite gliders. And they end up getting sniped from someone hiding in a tower. Very subtle reference, but it's definitely a Fortnite reference. At 29, we have Destiny 2 skins. Normally, Fortnite takes inspiration or full-on collaborations from other games and adds their skins to the game. However, in Destiny 2, they decided to take classic Fortnite skins and put their own twist on them in a Destiny style. They added a version of Drift, Oblivion, and the Black Knight, and they honestly look insane. This was a really cool collaboration. I remember actually being a part of this, and I actually got to play Destiny 2 for the first time with some Destiny streamers, and we brought them over to Fortnite as well. So it was kind of like a very full-on collab. And finally, at number 30, we have Disney Parks. This one hasn't actually happened yet, but it might be the craziest one on this list. Disney's actually going to have a way that Fortnite integrates with Disney rides. The example we've seen going on is Smuggler's Run. It's a ride that places 6 people in control of the Millennium Falcon where you collect cargo. Well, Disney is looking for a way to take that and have it carry over into Fortnite, which would allow you to somehow gain reputation in Fortnite, maybe through XP or possibly a special item by completing this. It all sounds very interesting, and I can't wait to see what the future has in store with Disney and Fortnite. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.